So my name is Briant Sikorski. I'm a financial planner and wealth advisor with Stratos Wealth Partners. I'm originally from Michigan. I've also lived in Georgia, Florida a couple times, North Carolina, Texas, and I guess Michigan a couple times. I've worked in the manufacturing, technology, and financial services industries. And one of the things that I've consistently heard from individuals and from clients and from prospects is that they're just thirsting for information on the different aspects of their financial lives. So I've taken up the cause, my sword, and I do a webinar at least every month like this. And then I also do some additional recordings that I upload to my YouTube channel. And I'll show you where that is at the end here. So I'll start off with asking, just kind of curiosity, has anyone heard of the name Ida Fuller?
Brian, you're mute. Brian, you're mute.
Got it. There we go. So Ida Mae Fuller is the first recipient of Social Security benefits. She paid in a total of $24.75 and then started receiving $22.54 at age 65 and lived to be 100 years of age. And so she subsequently received over $23,000 in benefits while she paid in a total of $24.75. So sounds like a typical government program there. But I thought that was kind of interesting, tidbit that goes along with that. So choosing when to start Social Security payments may be one of the most important decisions you make in the entire retirement income planning process. And it can have an impact not only on how much guaranteed you will receive, but also what perhaps your spouse will receive. So for example, here, we say that if you're 62 years old with a maximum career earnings and you've started benefits at your full retirement age of 67, based on 1960 year of birth, you would receive more than $800,000 over 20 years. And that's not including the annual cost of living adjustments, which are going to go up 11% this next quarter, nor is it impacting or including your spousal's benefits if you're married. So this is based on a 62-year-old with work earnings that reach or exceed the annual income used to calculate Social Security benefits. And it assumes that benefits begin at full retirement age of age 67. So the maximum monthly benefit for this retiree would be $3,345. From age 67 to 87, the retiree would receive a total of $802,000, excluding cost of living adjustments or any other available spousal benefits. So pretty impactful there about what Social Security can provide. I know many people kind of dismiss it, but when you start looking at the totals, it becomes a little stronger, a little more emphatic. So our agenda today is to understand what choices you have with regards to Social Security, number one. And then, so we're going to take a look at the first step in maximizing your benefits is to know what your options are and understand how they work. When it comes to taking benefits from Social Security, you have 5 main options. Number one, you can take early payments between ages 62 and 66, depending upon your year of birth. Number two, you can start benefits at full retirement age. And this is the age that you will receive full benefits from Social Security. The full retirement age ranges from ages 66 to 67, depending upon your date of birth. The older you are, the sooner you'll be able to access these full benefits. And as you can see from this table, for people in their 50s and 60s, their full retirement age is between 66 and 67 years old, and in pretty small increments there too. Now, number 3 is you can delay taking benefits and get even more by waiting until after your full retirement age to take benefits. You're able to increase your benefits even more, and we're going to talk about that in just a later slide. Number 4, you can capitalize on spousal benefits. If you're married, you may be eligible to receive a spousal benefit, even if you are not entitled to any Social Security benefits based on your own earnings record. So kind of this is the example of the atypical, non-working spouse. And number 5, you can enhance survivor income. And it's important to consider survivor benefits in managing your Social Security benefits. By delaying payments until age 70, you may be able to increase the amount your spouse receives once you pass away. So with most of these options, the later you claim, the more you're going to receive from Social Security. Now, let's look at them kind of in a little bit more detail here. And your first option we talked about is to take benefits early. Now, Social Security can begin as early as age 62, but workers' benefits will be reduced by as much as 30%, depending upon your full retirement age. So as you can see from this table, the earlier you take payments in relation to your full retirement age, the bigger your reduction. So for example, if you began benefits at age 62 and your full retirement age is 66, your $1,000 benefits will be reduced 25% to $750. If your full retirement age is even later at age 67, your $1,000 benefit will drop 30% to only $700. So, pretty big impact on, taking early withdrawals, early distributions, early benefits. Number 2, the second option is to start benefits at full retirement age. You'll be able to receive 100% or more of your Social Security benefits if you wait at least this long. Plus, you'll have the opportunity to add more earnings to your work record. So that's kind of something a lot of people don't think about, is Social Security benefits are based on the average of your highest 35 years of earnings up to a maximum amount. If you haven't worked at least 35 years, or if you had really low wages in many of those years, working longer may add higher earnings into your work record, resulting in greater Social Security benefits at retirement. So if you're at 66 and all of a sudden you find yourself having the opportunity to take a job that pays very well, maybe you take that job and those Social Security deductions that are imposed on your account for 4 or 5 years replace very low or zero amounts from somewhere 35 years prior. You can make a pretty big difference if you can kind of knock out those bottom 4 or so benefit years or contribution years. So also, if you delay the start of your Social Security benefits until after full retirement age, you have the opportunity to earn even more. So this will allow delayed retirement credits to accrue, increasing your benefits by up to 8% per year. This yearly rate of increase depends on your year of birth. As you can see from this table, if you were born after 1943, your annual benefit can increase 8% every year from full retirement age to age 70. Now, there's no additional benefit increase after you reach age 70, even if you contribute to delayed taking benefits. So keep in mind, this 8% delay retirement credit actually accrues on a monthly basis. So you don't have to wait an entire year after full retirement to take advantage of these credits if you decide to wait. Waiting just waiting a number of months can help you boost your benefits. Another way to increase Social Security benefits is by capitalizing on spousal benefits. So if you're married, you will generally receive the greater of your own benefit based on their individual earnings, or up to 50% of your spouse's full benefit. And this is known as the spousal benefit. Similar to your own benefit, the spousal benefit is reduced up to 35% if claimed prior to full retirement age. The sooner you claim, the more your reduction. Now, please note that claiming any type of benefit prior to full retirement age is deemed to be claiming all types of benefits to which the recipient is entitled. So divorced spouses may receive spousal benefits if certain requirements are met, excuse me. And I think I recall I did another presentation on Social Security from a different content here. And if I'm not mistaken, it did refer to Johnny Carson, who had 3 ex-wives, and all 3 of his ex-wives received and took Social Security benefits from Johnny Carson's benefit pool. It didn't impact him at all. It didn't impact, it's not like any of their amounts got reduced. It just was there. So all 3 of them filed and all 3 of them got benefits, which I thought was kind of amusing. Now, the 5th option is to enhance survivor income. Widow or widowers have the option to keep their own benefit or switch to the deceased spouse's benefit if it's higher. Survivor benefits are available as early as age 60, but they'll be reduced by up to 28.5% if claimed before the recipient's full retirement age. A widow or widower who is disabled can get benefits as early as age 50. The divorced widow or widower may also be eligible for benefits. For retirees who anticipate a shorter retirement due to health or other reasons, survivor benefits should be considered during the retirement income planning process in order to help ensure that their spouse has optimal benefits throughout the rest of their lives. So just a case in point, I had a client, or have a client, I should say, who was in Michigan, healthy as can be, jogs 10 miles a day or some ridiculous number. In our planning session, we set him up on the expectation that he was not going to receive benefits or take benefits until age 70, because his wife was a non-working spouse for a number of years. And then bang, out of nowhere, he was diagnosed with throat cancer. Never smoked, never did anything weird, just happened. And so he was treated, went into remission, and then once he was out of treatment and in full remission, we got together and we talked about it, and he elected to change his withdrawal strategy from age 70 to actually age like 63 or 64, I think, at the time. So even before full retirement age. And that was because, the doctors told him that he had about a 50% chance of the cancer reoccurring within 3 to 5 years. It never happened, but there was kind of, his event horizon changed measurably after having this illness. So now that we've discussed Social Security options available, let's take a look at how to decide when to start receiving benefits. And I got to give Social Security credit. At least they kept it brief. Social Security, that's all I need to know. All these other goofy political Secure Act and all this stuff. I mean, give me a break. Social Security seems pretty much on point. I like it. So when it comes to deciding when to apply for Social Security benefits, there are 5 keys to making the right choice. Number 1, estimate your benefits. You can do this by going, and I don't know if this will show us on the next slide, but you can go to sss.gov, and I'll show that in a minute, where you can go online and calculate that. Now, this is very warm and fuzzy. Decide how long your retirement will last. That means how long are you going to live? 3, determine if you're going to continue working. This is a big one, and I learned some stuff last year about this. Look at the tax implications and consider the impact to survivor benefits potentially, or potential survivor benefits. First, you should take a few minutes to estimate your Social Security benefits and see how that relates to your retirement income needs and goals. Start by determining how much income you'll need to retire. Many financial experts estimate you'll need at least 70–80% of your current annual income to maintain your lifestyle in retirement. That becomes an even more of an issue when we have a rising inflationary environment like we do right now. Now, to get an idea of how much guaranteed Social Security you can receive, you can use, here we go, you can use the online calculator at their websites, www.ssa.gov/estimator. If you input your personal information and Social Security card number, you'll get the most recent updates on how much you'll receive at age 62, full retirement age, and age 70. And this will help you to determine if it makes sense to delay or start taking Social Security right away. It used to be they mailed this to you every year, and now they've gone on to online strategies, and I think it's a lot better. So particularly here when looking at things like these estimators and calculators, I think that's a good deal to take a look at. The second step is to consider how long your retirement will last. How long am I going to live? Longevity plays a key role in determining which option is best for you. If you expect a shorter retirement due to health or other reasons, consider claiming earlier, even with reduced benefits. So that's like my client here. He decided to move from 70 to 63, I think it was 63, 64, because of the change in his potential health situation. So, for example, if we take a look, if we take a look at this hypothetical illustration, assuming a monthly benefit of $1,000 at full retirement age of 66 years and 8 months, it illustrates the total income that you would receive if you claim Social Security at age 62, 66 and 8 months, and age 70. So even though taking early payments at age 62 means a reduced monthly benefit of $716 in this example, this strategy would still provide with more total income up to age 78, at which point delaying payments to age 66 and 8 months would have been a better choice. Likewise, if you lived all the way to age 80, and you'd been better off waiting until age 70 to start taking Social Security. So kind of key there, these are like kind of break-even points. It's like, if you're at age 75 and you begin at 62, well, now you're ahead of the game. But then again, if you, I guess good news, bad news is if you live longer, and now your break-even point is going to be age 82 or something like that. So I'm sorry, or if you take benefits at age 70. So it gets really kind of confusing. That's why you really want to kind of sit down with someone who knows how to run these calculators, whether it's at the Social Security office, or if it's a financial advisor, or if it's a family friend who knows how to run these. I'm pretty good at it, but it took me a while to figure some of them out. And I'll be candid with you, a number of them changed very, very significantly about 4 or 5 years ago. There were all sorts of whodunits and delay this and file and suspend, and there were all these different strategies. A lot of them have been eliminated. There's very few that even exist anymore. Well, this is the really big one that got me and my wife looking about a year ago. Is we were like, well, somebody in our family, her family, I should say, jumped up at a dinner table one day when we were visiting and said, get your money from the government as soon as you can. and it sounded okay, kind of looking at that break-even chart. But then we realized that both of us are still working. And so here's this concept of, if you work and take benefits prior to full retirement age, some of your benefits may be withheld. Let me emphasize the word withheld. Originally, some of the documentation I read on the Social Security website said they would be reduced, but they were actually withheld. So what that meant, as an example for my wife, is that since we were both working, and I think the amount that we could earn was about $40,000, and anything above $40,000, Social Security, I want to emphasize this, withheld it until we reach full retirement age. So if you, that's what it was 19,500 a year per person, which is about $38,000, 39,000. And if you earn more than that, then they essentially withheld it until full retirement age. You got everything back. They would recalculate everything once you reach full retirement age. But for several years there, you would receive essentially nothing because it was above this limit that you could not exceed. I think the next slide is going to show you this again. Here we go. The fourth step is to look at the tax consequences. Depending on how much you earn in, oh, this is interesting, in wages and other income, you could pay up to 85% of your Social Security benefit. So to determine the taxable amount of your Social Security benefit, add up your adjusted gross income, non-taxable interest like from municipal bonds, and 50% of your annual Social Security benefits. And this is known as your provisional income according to Social Security. If this amount exceeds $34,000 for single filers or $44,000 for married couples filing jointly, up to 85% of your benefits are subject to ordinary income tax. Now, I don't know about you, but when years ago, when I signed up for Social Security, the benefits received were not taxable. So, what's that word, bait and switch? Finally, don't overlook the impact of survivor benefits, because when you begin taking payments, this can increase the survivor benefits for your spouse. For example, if you earn more than your spouse and you want to leave him or her with a larger survivor benefit, you may want to consider waiting until after full retirement age to start Social Security. This way, you can help ensure that your spouse receives higher benefits after your death. Because remember, if your spouse dies, you can continue to receive your benefits, or prior to death, you can receive half of theirs, and after death, you can shelve your own and turn around and start taking the deceased spouse's higher benefit. So pretty big difference there, can be. So we're going to look at a couple of strategies that can help you maximize your retirement income. So number one, now this is going to give you a headache, I'm going to tell you right now. So remember that that this is going to be on my YouTube channel. So after you listen to this, maybe in about a couple of days and your brain is recovered, you might want to go back and read this again. But here's what it says. With this strategy, the lower earning spouse starts collecting benefits at full retirement age. The higher earning spouse waits to start collecting benefits until age 70. Note, at this point, the lower earning spouse is eligible for the spousal benefit based on the higher earning spouse's benefit at full retirement age. And then here's the key. If the higher earning spouse dies first, the lower earning spouse will receive 100% of the deceased spouse's higher benefit amount. So it's essentially trying to pump up the potentially deceasing spouse's benefit, such that if that individual passes away, the surviving spouse gets to tap in to that deceased spouse benefit, which will be a higher amount than if they just filed for their own. So here's an assumption. Fred and Jane are married, they're 66, with full retirement age at 66. And their Social Security benefits at full retirement is $2,400 for Fred and $1,000 for Jane. Whoops, sorry. So this kind of shows us their monthly income at age 66. Jane starts collecting 1,000. Fred starts collecting 3,168. The total benefits paid at age 90 will be $1,148,000, and monthly benefits paid to Fred and Jen if Fred dies first, $1,000. So click. For higher earning widow and widowers, consider starting survivor benefits at age 60 to help increase overall income. And this provides a surviving spouse with additional income from age 60 to 69. Plus, by delaying payments until after full retirement age, the higher earner can earn the maximum amount of Social Security based on his or her own earnings at age 70. So this shows another assumption of Bob and Cindy being married, born in 1960. They're 60 years old with full retirement age of 67. And so again, Bob claims survivor benefits and receives 71% of Cindy's benefit. The total benefits paid in 9 years is $85,000. The total benefits paid from ages 70 to 90 would be $714,000. So it's really, I guess, kind of important to, I'm not saying it's important to know all of these scenarios, but more importantly, that you really sit down and block off some time to either individually or with some help, seriously look at all these alternatives, because I don't know, maybe it's just me, but reading the Social Security documents on IRS or on SSA.gov are not exactly written for the layman to understand. So, changes to spousal benefits, filing a restricted application. So remember I told you they had all these different strategies. These are a couple of them that they retained, but only for those that were born after January of 1954. So if you're born after, or I'm sorry, if you're born before, really, because if you're born on or after, you're no longer able to claim just a spousal benefit by filing a restricted application. If you're entitled to both your own individual benefit and a spousal benefit, when you file for benefits, you'll automatically receive the greater of the two benefits. So as a result, you don't have to figure it out. You don't have to determine whether to claim or not. It just will automatically happen. If you're born on or before January 1st of 1954, you'll continue to have the option to file a restricted application for a spousal benefit, only provided you do not file for benefits before your full retirement age and your spouse has either filed for and is receiving benefits or filed and suspended by April 29th of 2016. And I'm going to show you, I've got a handout that I'll email to you here at the end in a second that I'll show you that covers a couple of these things, because otherwise you'll get brain damage from trying to read this stuff online over and over again. So we can do a phase-in strategy, again, only available if you were born on or before January 54 and haven't filed. So with this strategy, lower earning spouse starts income right away, higher spouse benefits at full retirement age, delaying his or her own benefits for maximum income. And then at age 70, the higher earner takes his or her own benefits, and the low earner switches to spousal benefits to generate high income. Now, again, this is confusing as heck, but it'll make more sense if you sit down with me or somebody like me and put it on a table. It makes sense. Yeah, I know it's hard right now. So here's another example of generating $215,000 more income over 28 years. So let's assume that Fred and Jane are married. They're both 62 years old with full retirement age at 66. And their Social Security benefit at full retirement age is $2,400 for Fred and $1,000 for Jane. The couple's goal is to begin income now and maximize benefits over time. By taking Jane's benefit at age 62 and delaying Fred's benefit until 70, they can increase their overall Social Security payments by $215,000 based on total benefits paid at age 90. So let's look at the details behind this. At age 62, take a deep breath first. Jane begins drawing a reduced monthly benefit of $750, $1,000 reduced by 25%. When Fred turns 66, he is able to take a spousal benefit of $500, which is one half of Jane's benefit at full retirement age. 4 years later, at age 70, Fred draws his full delayed benefit of $3,168, and Jane's benefit is increased by the difference between her benefit at full retirement age of $1,000 and half of Fred's benefit, $1,200, which is $200. Thus, her benefit rises from $750 to $950, giving the couple a combined benefit of $4,118 at age 70. If they continue taking benefits for the next 20 years, total benefits paid to Fred and Jane at age 90 would be $1,000,001. In comparison, if both Fred and Jane were to elect early benefits at age 62, they have only received benefits of $936,000 at age 90, which is almost $200,000 less than the phase-in strategy. Now remember, for this strategy to work, the individual receiving spousal benefits must be full retirement age or older, and the other spouse must also be receiving benefits or filed and suspended benefits prior to May 1st of 2016. This strategy will only result in higher aggregate benefits if both spouses survive to a certain amount of time. In this example, if either Fred or Jane passes away before age 78, which is the break-even point, they would have received less income using the start now and get more later strategy. Of course, each person's experience is going to vary based on their individual circumstances. So you can see there's a lot of these, I don't want to call them goofy, but there's a lot of these convoluted benefits or strategies. The only problem with them is, they kind of say, well, hey, if you do this, you'll make more, you do this, you'll make more, you do this, you'll make more. Well, the problem is once you select something, you may not be able to change it, or once you select something and the other party dies, you can't do a do-over. And things could be much worse than they would have been if you had taken this other strategy. So there's not a lot of do-overs in this. So number 4, let's look at how you can build an income bridge to help supplement future Social Security benefits. If you decide to retire later, you may need to bridge the potential income gap with retirement sources other than Social Security. So in other words, you say, I don't want to take Social Security until age 70, but how can I create a guaranteed income for X amount of years until that happens? Well, number 1 would be a fixed annuity. These are issued by insurance companies and offer a fixed rate of return with no potential for loss of principal. I know people like that bell. This means that you can receive a stable source of guaranteed income to supplement your reduced Social Security benefits. They're also tax deferred, meaning that you won't pay income tax on earnings until they're withdrawn. Fixed annuities don't provide access to the growth potential of equities, and as a result, your income may not keep up with inflation. But like a certificate of deposit, and in crazy times like we are now, the guarantees of a fixed annuity might be attractive. It says index, variable, or fixed annuities with standard or optional income benefits. These products can provide you with growth potential along with a source of protected lifetime income to help cover your essential or discretionary expenses. So what are annuities? They're long-term insurance products designed for retirement and offer the opportunity for tax deferral. So really they offer tax deferral, guaranteed lifetime income, and a guaranteed death benefit. So what they're trying to give you here is just some other strategies that, you know, if you're really committed to waiting until age, you know, full retirement age of 66, or even more importantly, maybe age 70, these are some strategies that can give you guaranteed income until you achieve that time frame. I'm going to skip Medicare here just because my brain hurts already, and I know a lot of this stuff. So maybe next month I'll do another seminar on Medicare and Medicaid all by itself, because putting the two of them together is considered cruel and unusual punishment. So I'm going to put that off until next month. In the meantime, one of the things that I'm going to take a look at for you here is, let's see if I can stop this program here. And I'm going to bring up a couple of documents here just to show you. So I will email these to you. So number one, if you want to watch this again, you can go to my YouTube channel. My website's briantsikorski.com, and you can click on my YouTube icon to go watch that video again. Also, here's a worksheet that talks to you about that you can use to figure out how much of your Social Security benefit might be taxed. And then there's another one here that takes that whole presentation that we just went through and puts it into a guidebook. And I think it's about 26 pages long, but it's got every single thing that we covered in one place for you. So I think that might be very beneficial as you're going through this process. And you can sit down with a spouse or a family member or a tax preparer or myself and go through this, which I think will be much, you'll retain a lot more of this than trying to catch it on the fly. And to get there, you can go to my website, which I'll click up here, which looks like this, www.briantsikorski.com. Click on the YouTube channel up here in the upper right-hand corner. It should take me there one of these days, I hope. I moved out to the country, and we don't have that high-speed internet stuff a lot of you guys have. So this is where it's going to go. It's called Stratos and Raleigh. Just click on my YouTube channel on my website, or go to YouTube and type in Stratos and Raleigh. And this is where I will load this webinar, you know, right here, probably tomorrow or the next day. And then you'll also have all these other videos that you can watch if you want to educate yourself on some other things too. So with that, I will say thank you very much for joining me. If you have any questions that you'd like to get resolved, go to my website. Here's my number, 650-1527-919. And just send me an email, bsikorski@stratoswp.com. Be happy to, there's no cost to meet with me or talk to me on the phone or set up a one-on-one with me. And I'd be happy to go through anything or go through any workbooks here or tables that you'd like me to go through with you. So with that, I'll say thank you very much. Have a great evening, and we'll talk to you real soon.
Thank you, Brian. Appreciate it.
Okay.